Hello and welcome to Words of the Mothers. I'm Zena, mum blogger behind wordsofthemothers.com, and this is what's coming up on today's show. You are so gonna love it. I'll be catching up with Mel Bound, founder of the hugely successful This Mum Runs, which essentially is a nationwide running club for the type of mum who likes gin. Later, with Ruth Wiles of Clifton Wine School, I'll be sampling the best reds on offer in the supermarket wine aisles. But before all that, let's have a bit of potty talk. So let me introduce my mum mates for the week. We have mum mate number 1, Ali Give Us Away from Series 1. And we have mum mate number 2, Tessa Lidstone, owner of much acclaimed restaurant Boxy.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. And as you've been our special guest now a few times, I thought it might be nice to get to know you a bit more. So as I mentioned, you're the owner with your husband of the restaurant Boxy, and your husband Elliot has been touted as one to watch for this year by Olive and the Sunday Times, no less.
Yeah. It's been amazing.
So when you just were opening the restaurant, your kids, still young, were really young then.
Yes.
So how did you manage all that?
I'm not ever so sure. It's one of those things where I think, we'll look back and think, why did we do that? But I mean, you're doing something for an end goal, but yeah, at the time you just think anything's possible, and then when you're kind of in it, you're just going with it. And then,
and it's your dream, so I imagine that's such a drive when you have such a passion for it.
Yeah, but we were bringing them onto a building site, and we got them a little high-vis vest each. And every day the building site supervisor would kind of be like, and it was the height of last summer as well, so I was going in kind of flip-flops, and I did have high-vis, but no kind of hard hat or full boots or anything.
You are
hardcore. Just kind of like,
he's thinking about his insurance there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to turn a blind eye to this. But we really wanted them to be involved in it. And, this is their restaurant too. It's our family business. And
so how did you manage that sort of how old were your kids then?
So they were 3 and 1.
Whoa. Wow. So how did you manage kind of juggling that between going on site and looking after the kids? And
well, when we moved back to Bristol, we moved in with my mum and dad. This was meant to be a temporary thing, and we kind of put all of our stuff in storage, including our raincoats, things like that. We moved in August. Who needs a raincoat in August?
Are you new to this country?
Yeah. Well, Elliot came with just a suitcase full of shorts. So that was how optimistic he was that we would be moving out of my parents' house fairly soon. But they've been amazing, and we every night I get the girls to bed, I get them to sleep, and then I go back to the restaurant afterwards. So a lot of the work I do is when they're asleep.
How do you not look 100?
Oh God, I feel like I do. I think your body does adapt, because at the beginning I was kind of like, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, it's fine. This is the routine, and this is it.
Yeah. Giving birth that makes you go, bring it all.
Yeah, I can do anything.
It was like you telling me you went to bed last night at midnight, but you said before that I went to bed quite early last night, midnight, on a school night.
Yeah. Yeah. So normally we go to bed at about 1.
Well, I'm up throughout the night, so I know how that feels, but obviously not then like having to run a restaurant. Do you have a top tip for striking that elusive work-life balance, do you think, Tessa? What do you say?
No. It's the honest answer. I really don't feel like it's possible in a way. My tip would be to throw everything into the moment. So if you're spending time with your children, spend time with your children, and that be the thing you're doing.
Yes.
And not be kind of half at work,
checking your phone.
It's so much easier said than done. But
totally.
What about you, Ali?
Organisation for me is just key. Like the night before, I just have to be so on it with laying out the bags, the books, the right clothes. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've sent my daughter in school uniform when it's supposed to be a home clothes day on multiple occasions, which is just soul destroying for her. But I just write lists. I love crossing off a list.
Yeah.
Just have to be organised.
Yeah, organisation is key, I think. Definitely. I think for me, I'd say probably similar to what you've both said, a kind of like just organise your time. And also when you have your family time, I do like having an event.
Yeah.
So it's not just the weekend being, because I work full time, is kind of we're going out somewhere, you know? Okay, shall we have a toast to that elusive work-life balance happening for us one day?
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, so joining me now is Mel Bound, the woman behind the hugely successful This Mum Runs. Welcome, Mel.
Hi, Zena.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
You're welcome.
So, Mel, what is This Mum Runs in a nutshell?
Blimey, in a nutshell, it's an amazing running community for mums. It's kind of, it does what it says on the tin. So we've got an online community where mums can find local running buddies or join in with runs that we're organising. And then we've got a whole programme of free social runs across Bristol, Bath and London that mums can turn up and just join in with for free.
And it all started with a Facebook post, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you'd actually posted your own Facebook post into a mums group on Facebook?
Yeah, so the whole thing started by complete accident. I did that classic thing after I'd had my daughter where I just basically stopped doing any exercise because it was all about her. And prior to that, I'd been quite active, and I got to the point where I just thought, actually, my husband said to me, for God's sake, you've got to start doing some exercise. So I put a post onto a local mums Facebook group, kind of spilling my woes and saying, this is how I feel, and does anyone feel the same and want to come and meet me for a run? And got loads of responses.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, I'm going to go to the park on Wednesday evening. If you want to turn up and run with me, just turn up. And so I did. I toddled off to the park that Wednesday evening. It was in November, so it was misty, dark, rainy, like the worst possible time to start exercising. And 75 women turned up.
75?
Yeah.
That is amazing.
I know.
So what did that Facebook post say?
It was just really honest.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I'm a runner and I've run my whole life and I want to find someone to run with. It was I'm a local mum. I'm struggling to make time for myself. I feel really unfit and out of shape. I'm struggling to meet other mums. It was that sort of honest.
Yeah, and
because
one of the things I love about This Mum Runs is it is about the well-being.
Yeah.
It's not about, as I know that you've put this on your website and you talk about this a lot. It's not about some kind of personal best. Let's all kind of like a distance that we all have to kind of be competitive about.
Yeah.
It's about, as your Facebook post was about how you feel.
Yeah, our whole ethos now, I mean, it's kind of the same as at the start, but it's just about mums having a bit of time to themselves. Because when you have kids, as I'm sure everyone out there watching knows, it becomes all about the kids and everyone else, and none of your time is spent on yourself. No. You don't get a break, you don't get time to yourself.
No, you don't get to go to the loo alone.
Well, that's headspace used to be going to the loo and locking myself in for 5 minutes.
On
now
Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I go out for a run, and so the whole thing has been built on that, and not putting more pressure on mums by saying, come and enter races, we'll make you faster, we're going to be really competitive. Those things we just don't talk about at all.
No, and it's not about postnatal weight.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. It's completely not like that at all, which is is going to appeal to a lot of mums for the fact that it is just about if you
feeling
are
better.
Feeling better.
Yeah.
So if you are feeling low after having a baby, a run, and I'm not a great runner as my physique might tell you, but I do run.
Yeah.
I do run and it's just a cheeky mile.
Yeah.
But the way I feel afterwards is
so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback have you had from other mums?
Oh God, I mean the feedback is just incredible. In fact, it's the thing that keeps me going because it's hard work running something like this, and the stories that we get from women endless stories from women who haven't done anything active since they were at school, and they've managed to get into running more regularly with us, and how life-changing that's been for them. And loads of stories of women who have just surprised themselves with what they could do. So, 20 years believing that exercise wasn't for them, and then all of a sudden, they've done a 10K, or they've entered a half marathon, or they're just managing to go out for a run once a week.
Oh, so amazing. And so emotional.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself kind of getting immersed in it sometimes?
Yeah, in fact, my kids are like, "Oh God, Mummy's crying again," or it's a bit of a standing joke that I do get very emotionally involved with the women in our community, and because I think I feel so much empathy for their situations and their stories that when I hear the stories from them, there is quite a lot of tears.
Yeah, it's hard to switch off as well, I imagine.
Yeah.
So, did you ever think it would be this huge? Because you've launched in Bristol, but that's where you launched in Bristol first, didn't you?
Yes, we started with that first run in Bristol, and we now, it goes up every week, but it's about 300 free runs a month,
right,
across 30 locations. So we're in Bristol, Bath, in London.
Yes.
And we've got about 17,500 runners in the community, which is just mental.
That's 17,500.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Time for a quick break, but don't go away because there'll be more from Mel in part 2.